Hey, y'all! Sorry we're a little late. We're messing around. We're fiddling with the sound over here. Um, but good evening. And I don't see anything just yet.
You won't. It takes a little while.
Yeah, a little lag.
Yeah.
I'm excited for today, you guys. So
you can keep talking.
Hey, the junk teak. There's junk in your name, so you're my kind of person. Like, I already know that. And we're getting a late start, but please be patient. I have like 5 projects I'm going to pull out tonight. I mean, that I have prepped. We'll see what I actually get done in an hour. Although we always go over to an hour and a half, but we'll see what happens. TikTok has this filter, hey you guys, that shows you like what you look like at 11. I don't think it looked like me. But it did get rid of the bags under my eyes. That was kind of fun. Hey, I see some heyas. Hiya, Roxanne. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Celestine. Oh, no, Celestine. I remembered.
You're hot right now.
Am I hot? You know what? I know what I did. I put my thing up to 12 decibels. I'll go back to where it was. Is that better?
It's going to take a little while.
Oh, okay. That's why because it was in the red. That's why I was like, ooh, am I hot? Because it looked like it was. So I turned it back down, the booster off. I have to use the booster when I go live by myself, but I don't have to use it when you're using the soundboard. I think it's the difference. Hey, custom creations. Is it fifth customer creations to go? You guys be patient because we're going to start crafting in a few minutes, okay? And we're also live on YouTube and Facebook. If you guys want to join us there.
You're not coming through at all. Are you sure you're turned on? Could you check your mic?
I am. I'm on. And I actually see the little thing right there indicating that I'm live. Can you guys hear me okay?
And I'm getting bleed through from something. There's some...
Oh, Lord. Always with the sound. Hey, Shy. Hey, Gabrielle. Is it Gabrielle? I hope I pronounced it right. Hey, Handy and...
Oh, there we go.
Honey. Hey, Kim.
Now you sound fine.
Okay. Yeah, I had it boosted. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I'm meddling with stuff over here.
You're... check to make sure that you're plugged in all the way for your pack.
I am.
Okay.
You want me to unplug and replug?
No, I could hear you now.
Oh, okay. I can hear on Facebook. Thank you, Roxanne. Hey, from Payson, Arizona. They can hear on Facebook, they said. I don't know about YouTube. I'm assuming YouTube is okay, too.
Okay. No, I know everybody can hear Royce. It's just the sound was just kind of off. It wasn't right. And for a while there, you were only coming through this mic.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm not sure. I venture to think when you checked your mic pack, that's when it connected.
Oh, okay.
So
I have so many YouTube videos where I have lipstick on my teeth. Like, it's so ridiculous. So if you guys see me checking, it's just because I have priors. You want to say hi to everybody before we get started?
Sure.
Is that in your way?
No, it's fine. I just wanted to find this. This is fine. I have a question for everybody.
Oh, Lord, we're leading with a question.
I do, because I had I'll explain it in a minute.
Okay.
Let's say hi to everybody. And then then I'll ask my question. On Facebook, Shannon Armstrong, Jean Higginbotham from Payson, Valerie Coots from Virginia, Roxanne Jensen, Doris Rushing. Valerie is from Virginia. Oh, she said that. Zoe Pinette. Is it Zoe or Zoe? I think it's Zoe Pinette.
I think I remember it being Zoe.
Yeah, Liz Boyle from Glendale, Arizona. We're heading up in that neighborhood next week. We won't be in Glendale.
No.
We'll actually be in Phoenix
proper.
We'll
be in the valley, though.
Yeah, but we will be in Maricopa. Arlene Adaptante, I hope I'm saying that right, from South Texas. Candy Kelly Jung, She said it's not Young.
Okay.
Because I thought it was like the psychiatrist, the famous psychiatrist, but no, it's Jung. Jenny Marmion, Candy's from Georgia. Cinder, Cindy Dobson Lanfer from Jones County, Iowa.
Oh, yeah, Candy, you've inspired one of my projects tonight. I just want you to know that. Do not judge me, though. Just,
Chris Schmidt, Robin Myers Martinko from Virginia, and Cindy Shaw Rogers from California. Jill Gomez Haley from Florida on the YouTubes, if I can get there.
On the YouTubes?
Let's see. Boy, I got, just tell me what's live right now. It never does.
I know I'm live because I see red writing.
No, I checked it. I saw it, but it wants to show me what you did last week, not what we're doing right now.
Oh.
So, is this what we're doing right now?
Hey.
Let me see your earrings. Yeah, that's today's.
Rustic.
Okay.
Hey, girl.
Okay, we have Vekel Restoration from South Maricopa. Lori Scott from the Sierra Mountains. Kim Lamar from Buffalo, New York. Handy and Honey. Gabrielle Vina. Patty Ruth Janer, Janer, who says, I love how you do your do and your creations too.
Oh, thank you.
And that's something we have to talk about as well.
Do we have to talk about it?
Yes, we do.
Oh, my God.
Deb's Reclaimed Vintage, Gabrielle, and Lori Scott. So that's who we have on the YouTube.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you are new, we meet here on Sundays to hang out, to chit chat, and to craft. If you do not like chit chat, you can check out my YouTube channel, and there are succinct videos on there that do not involve the chatting. Right. But if you are new, my name is Royce Bell, and the voice you hear behind the camera is my husband, David Bell, and together we make up Roycycled Treasures.
So before I ask my question, you start the project, and then while you're doing the crafting part of the craft,
then you'll ask your question.
Then I'll ask my question.
Okay, so you guys, this is what's going on. I am so ready for spring to get here. I am done with winter. I'm done with being cold, and so I'm going to start prepping and making projects for my reset, for my living room and for my porch.
Oh, are we doing a giveaway? We did a giveaway last time. And
Shannon Booth won a mug.
And that was on the YouTubes?
I don't remember.
Guys, remind me. Who gets the giveaway? It's because we decided we'll do a giveaway 3 weeks, but you didn't because you were sick last week, so we didn't go live.
Did we say 3 weeks?
Yeah, because we were going to do one for each platform.
Oh, I think you decided that, babe.
Well, we decided which platform, and then we said the next week we do from the other two.
Now I got to think of a prize. I guess we can do another mug. I have mugs, you guys.
Yeah, we'll do the mugs.
We'll do the Roycycled mugs. Okay.
So remind me which platform got the win last time. I think it was YouTube, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not sure either.
That wasn't my question, but
so
I just want you guys to get all excited for a giveaway.
I have a couple of projects. I'm going to go through and show you guys what I hope to accomplish tonight. I think we can. And then we'll get started. So my first project, which I said Candy, if you guys haven't been to Candy's Creation, is the name of her page, and it's Kandi is her name. She does these beautiful wreaths and centerpieces, which is not something that I normally do, but Candy, you've inspired me, so I'm going to try to make a wreath. But I thought it'd be really cool. I have this. You guys know I'm not like a flower girl, right? So I want a new wreath for my front porch for spring, but I have all these cans that I bought at the thrift store, like during Christmas. And so I want to make this like the center of my wreath. And so we're going to make this a wreath center, and we're going to do an inlay, because I know I've been promising that we'll do an inlay on one of my lives, the IOD inlays. So we're going to use the IOD inlay for this project. I also have a Cloche project that we're going to do. This is just a dome off of one of those old clocks, you guys, that I bought at the thrift store. And I'm going to pair it with this piece of wood here. I'm sorry, let me put you guys down so you can see what we're talking about. I'm going to pair it with this piece of wood, and this is just, it was a big old like post, but I had George cut it into pieces for me because I wanted like risers. So this is almost like a pillar post, but smaller, right? But my cloche is gonna fit over this. And so what I want to put inside of my cloche is a few things, but what we're gonna create together tonight is we're gonna create a 3-dimensional butterfly using the new Millets page transfer from IOD. So that's one of the projects. For the wreath center, we're gonna use the inlay, the new inlay, melange from IOD. And I have another project that we're gonna stamp some tissue paper for that one. And I would pick it up, but it weighs 58 million pounds. So I'm gonna wait, you guys can see that when you do it. And then I just have this picture here that I bought at the thrift store, and we're gonna add a quick transfer just to make it, you guys know how much I love topography, right? So we're just gonna add a quick transfer to this. I just threw some florals in here because I'm feeling like I'm gonna lay down kind of what do you call the bottom of the house that the house is on? A foundation. I want to lay a foundation in my house to overlay my spring decor. So this is just like one shot of my living room, you guys. And so everything in my house is like dark. The furniture is either stained wood or black. And so I want to go in and create like some really light elements to put in my living room and on my porch, so that I can go in and these like really springy things that I layer over the top will really pop off of the light color. So that is what we're doing tonight. That's a really long explanation for what we're doing tonight, but it's probably what we're gonna be doing for the next few weeks. So you guys, we're gonna be making like real deal home decor that I'm going to be putting in my house over the course of the next few weeks. So we're gonna try to get through all these programs tonight. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's see. I want to find the first comment. Oh, on YouTube, let's see. Where did it go?
And just really quickly, while he's looking for the comment, this surface is really smooth, so I'm just going to sand it a little bit to give it some tooth because I couldn't find my white primer. So we're going to use chalk paint, which will be fine because we want to get rid of this old Christmas decor on here. We're going to totally recreate this.
All right, as far as the giveaway goes, Deb's Reclaimed Vintage said YouTube was the winner last time.
Okay.
But Vecol Restoration or Vcol Restoration immediately came behind and said it was not YouTube.
I know it was Shannon Booth. I do remember that part.
Your fave person is back, which may be the greatest username on the planet.
On the planet, right?
It really is. On YouTube says, what is the yummy stuff in your tea?
Oh, you guys know what? I bought this jar of stuff off of Amazon, and it has citron, honey, and ginger. I believe are the 3 things that it has in it. And it's almost like a marmalade. And so you just warm up your water and you put a spoonful in there. So it's a tea. It's just a little different. The citron is a little perfumey, so I'm getting used to that. I wish I could find one with just lemon and ginger and honey. That would be perfect, but...
Jean Higginbotham asks, are the mugs on your website?
The mugs are not on my website.
That's what makes the giveaway so special.
Yes.
There you go. And John Anthony Chihak Soltero, who we got to see yesterday,
yes.
Said, we all know who's in charge. David may be the DP, director of photography, but Royce is the director and executive producer. Can I put in a plug for John?
Yes, you can.
John does a comic book that is perfect for little kids.
Yes.
So if you've got little ones at home, I'm thinking like 3 to 8, 3 to 10, or if you've got nieces, nephews, grandchildren,
grandbabies,
you got to check it out. It's called The Bubba Patrol. It's on Facebook. Go there. You can still order copies. There's nothing to worry about. It's about dogs that become superheroes.
Yes.
It's a wonderful book, and John's just the nicest guy. And as we learned, cares about the aged as well as little kids.
He actually works like kind of in the field where I worked before I retired to do Roycycled full time.
So, all right. So here's my question, and it does have to do with what we do.
Okay.
Because you had mentioned, we do the chit chat on here, but YouTube is down to business.
Yes.
So I have a radio talk show that I do Monday through Friday. And I get to say it now because I'm not on the station. So
are you going to talk about the guy?
I am.
Okay,
but
let me do something really quickly before you start your story. But
I'm not going to go long.
Okay, but I just want people to know what I'm doing. So you guys, I've sanded this just to give it some tooth, right? So that my paint has something to stick to it. And I want to put, I really want to white out all of this Christmas. So we're going to do a couple of coats of paint on this. I will go in after I get done. I couldn't find my freaking drill today. And drill holes like around the edges, probably 4, so that I could use some floral wire to wire this to my wreath. Candy, if you're still here, you can tell me if that's the best way to connect this to my wreath. Okay, go ahead, babe.
All right, so we had a little bit of a kerfuffle on my show this past week. So once a week, our Chamber of Commerce comes on. We like to promote small business. My show is it's about what's good in the community.
Yes.
I'm not out there trying to, do gotcha journalism or anything. It's not a journalistic show. I'm a journalist, but my show is what's
about
good.
Community.
Yeah, it's what's good. So nonprofits come on. Matter of fact, tomorrow we're going to talk about the tax credit that's available in Arizona.
Yes.
How it benefits your community, that sort of thing.
If you live in Arizona, do know that if you make a donation to a qualified organization, which you can find the list on
Department of Revenue,
Revenue's website, you get that back dollar for dollar
on your state income tax.
It's huge, you guys, dollar for dollar. And so even if, anyways, we won't go too deep into it, but yes.
So that's my show. Well, the chamber brought on a competitor to us, to our radio station.
Theoretically, a competitor.
Yeah, a startup. And as I explained to the chamber, that's really not kind of appropriate to give a competitor 30 minutes of free airtime. But they did, and I talked with him, and he got his pitch out, and it was wonderful. Well, he wasn't happy. Let's just put it that way. Mainly because I did tell him he was wrong about 2 things.
You argue with somebody?
I didn't argue. I just pointed out where he said something factually inaccurate.
Okay.
And as a journalist, that's really kind of important.
That's your job.
That is our job, is to be correct. So,
thank you, Jessica.
So he did a write-up about his experience, in which he called me a confused elderly man, which I frankly am leaning into. I love that. I said, he's not wrong.
Get off my lawn. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
But he did complain that at the beginning of the show, I chit-chatted with the representative from the chamber. And the reason I do that is because the radio shows that I loved growing up as an adult, young adult, were talk shows where the people let you into their life.
Yes.
So the most notable example is Howard Stern, how he used to talk to his wife. He'd get her on the phone. I'm not saying Howard Stern. He was not
really. That's the example.
He's not, but he's the one that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Like the one I grew up listening to was Steve Dahl. But if you didn't live in Chicago or Milwaukee, you had no idea who I'm talking about.
Okay.
So Mark and Brian in L.A., they would talk a lot about their personal lives. Guys like that. So I like to do that at the beginning of my show. I usually spend about 5 minutes. I'll chat. Oh, we went this weekend to Tucson.
Yes.
And we saw, John, and we saw Morris and Tiffany and Tom. And, we saw people that we know and like, and had a great time. And I do that. And he was really upset at that. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I'm curious what you guys think about that. Whether it's get down to business, or do you like the little peeks into the person's life that you're dealing with?
You're probably asking the wrong people, because the people who hang out with us on Sunday, they expect.
Well, I mean, but if they're listening to radio, and it could be satellite or your regular radio station, please listen to your regular radio station, because satellite does national commercials, and your local supports your local businesses. So, and quite frankly, there's so few local radio stations anymore. They're all iHeartRadio Clear Channel, and it just drives me nuts. Corporate radio rather than local radio. But I'm just curious. That's all. I promise not to go in, but I'm leaning into confused elderly man. Oh, God, yeah.
So if you wander into our yard, just be prepared for, what are you going to tell them, baby?
Get off the lawn, get off my porch. I don't want none of your business around here, none of your foolishness.
None of your foolishness. Okay, you guys, so I have good coverage on here. There's a little bit peeking through, but actually I think I'm okay because I still have to put another coat of paint on this. So this is the melange. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it. This is the melange paint inlay. And I know a lot of you guys have questions about the paint inlay, so I figured we'd do it on, I think we're gonna do it on at least one project tonight. So I went through to look at and figure out what I was gonna use on this one. And
Wait,
I gotta
go to a comment. So mentioned the Bubble Patrol. I love that book. I love John. His heart is as big as his biceps. The man is huge.
John, you should listen to me though and do TikTok. I'm telling you. You'll blow up over there.
So I love his books. Tammy Marie Martin. Here's where I'm baffled. I have grands and a son who are in those age ranges. Tammy, what are you doing?
It happens, baby.
Oh, Tammy, no. You were out and they pulled you back in.
My boys are 11 years apart, so
I understand.
I understand, Tammy.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Lexi Grenzer says, "You do you." We love the personal connections. Well, we love Lexi.
Hey, Miss Lexi.
Let's see. Tammy
Isn't
says,
this page fabulous, you guys? I cannot wait to find a project to use this on. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Tammy says, like the personal aspect. Shannon Booth says it makes it more personable. Candace Clay loves the chit chat.
Hey, Candace.
Mary Casey, it's your show. You can do what you want.
It's my party, and I'll talk if I want to.
Fearlessly Unique Designs by Simone Phillips says, I like personal. Cindy Shaw Rogers, everyone needs to know you're dealing with humans. We've lost so much of conversing on that level. See, that's my thought. But, but he was bothered by it.
He was bothered by a lot of stuff.
The guy's a nut. Let's just...
We really don't care what he thinks.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Tori Alexander, all of my favorites are chatty family and friend conversations. Tomi Quiroz hearts the chit-chat.
I think it's probably Ketos. Tell me if I'm right. If
and
it's
it was
pronounced
Tommy,
Ketos.
right? Not Tommy. It's Tommy.
It's Tommy. Is it Ketos or Ketos or Ketos?
Yeah. Chris Schmidt, I remember Steve Dahl. Personal peaks are my favorite. You can always be on my lawn. Thank you for remembering Steve Dahl. I love Steve Dahl.
So for this one, you guys, it's going to be fairly simple, right? I can't decide if I just want to put this in the middle or if maybe I want to kind of add a bee on there. I'm thinking that I kind of want to do that. I thought I would use all 3 bees, but they're not going to fit. So maybe that and that, because I really don't want floral. I like the topography and I like the bee. And this is going to go again in the middle of my wreath that I'm going to make. And I have over here in my little spring floral bucket over here, I have some different things that I want to integrate. Maybe some thistle, or I don't really want to do pink, but maybe, I don't know. So I'm going to integrate little pops of color, right? But you guys know me. It's going to be primarily greens. Ooh, these yellow ones. I might do these. I think I'll probably go with these. Anyways, so I want just something simple to go in the middle, something simple and bright. And again, I'm kind of leaning into the whole French country, industrial, European farmhouse kind of vibe. That's the goal for everything that we're making. And all these things are going to go in the house. So for the paint inlay, you know what? I pulled out some plates. I'm going to go in with a couple of colors here. Really quickly, baby.
No. I thought you were done when you were leaning over.
I know.
Usually that's your done time.
That's my done time.
Yeah.
I am going to put 3 different colors of white on my plate, you guys. I want this to be a little muddled. I have like a really bright white, and then I have this really warm white, and I also have a can. And if you guys look away, I'm going to use my scissors to open my paint. have like this really light bone white, and it's kind of a gray white. And these are all Wise Owl colors. So this is, oh Lord, this is the new color from Wise Owl that I can never think of the name. I should have stirred this up, and you guys see how that's like a gray white, right? So these are different color whites, and these are the whites that we're going to use throughout the night, because I feel like I don't want it to be pristine and white. I still want it to look kind of rustic. And so I'm going to kind of muddle these colors together to achieve that. And then we'll go in and we'll put in some rusty bits in a few minutes.
All right. On YouTube, Gabrielle Vina says, saw the marmalade tea stuff at Costco. Wasn't sure what it was. She'll have to try it.
I like it because honestly, I don't really use tea bags. I have like 50 million kinds of tea bags in my pantry. But lately, I've just been using like candied ginger and lemon in my tea. Maybe I'll put some turmeric in there, but I haven't really been using tea bags. So when I saw the marmalade, I thought I'd give it a try. Really quickly, and I'll let you go to comments, babe. I'm going to put a really generous layer of paint on this. And then I'm going to lay my paint inlay into this. And the reason I'm using the inlay specifically for this project is because it's going to be on my porch. If I use a transfers are just really, really thin, like pieces of vinyl. And I live in Arizona, y'all. That transfer may survive for a season, but that would be the most it would survive in the heat. But the paint inlays are actually paint. So they'll be really good for like signs or projects that you're going to make for outdoor spaces because it's paint like any other paint, right? So I'm going to put down a thick layer of paint, and then I'm going to lay my inlay into there. I'm going to wet the back and I'm going to press it into the paint, and then we're going to let this dry and we're going to come back to it in a little bit. Okay, I just want to let them know what we're doing.
Very good.
So you can go ahead and.
All right, Gabrielle Vina says, love those kind of radio shows too. Always creates a greater connection. Handy and Honey says you can tell your stories anytime. Janer, I listen to local radio on purpose. Shop small. Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can enjoy your national stuff. There's nothing. We watch TV.
Yeah.
It's not local. We're hooked on Ghosts on CBS. I really love that show.
It is.
I want to start over again now because we're out of episodes.
Are we out of episodes?
So I want to go back to season 1 for the third time and watch it. Because you won't let me watch Superstore.
Superstore is just too cringy. I can't take it.
See, I don't mind it.
I didn't mind it the first time, but rewatching it, it's just too cringy.
Yeah.
I can't take it.
And I've tried that British version of Ghosts, and I just don't care for it. Because I just don't like uncomfortable.
Yes.
So
I have a nice liberal coat of paint on here, you guys. And that's really key when you're doing the inlays, I think. These are inlays according to Royce. And I'm missing this a little bit just to kind of minimize some of my brush strokes on the piece.
And Joan Volkman says, yes, from Kenosha, listen to local, get to learn more about the host. Okay, well, I'm just trying to equate it to us. Do they want to know more about us, or do they want more? It's not about justifying me on the radio, because I'll do it until they fire me, you know. So, on Facebook, Peggy Missile, I like the chit chat. Seems like we're sitting around talking.
Yeah, like we're hanging out.
Let's see. Man. Kathleen Hoovis, so excited to see the inlays in action. I just don't understand them. I don't know when to apply and when to remove in regards to how wet the paint should be.
Yeah, you want your paint to be really, you want it to be really wet when you put your inlay on there. And I could have probably cut a little closer to the piece, because when you lift it, you're going to leave a mark there. But I don't expect this to be perfect, and so I'm fine with this. But you guys notice how I'm going in? I'm literally kind of, just like when we do our transfers or when we do decoupage, and we want to make sure that there's really good contact between the what you're putting on and the surface. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just making sure there's really good contact between the inlay and the wet paint that I'm putting the inlay in. And so now that I have it on there, so the paint underneath is wet, right? And so now I've put the inlay on the wet paint. I'm actually gonna mist my inlay. And when I wet the back of this, it's gonna help the paint from the carrier sheet to release into my paint.
So, we've got a couple others. Shannon lost sound, but I could always hear it. So, Tammy Martin, love all that Royce. French country industrial farmhouse is awesomeness. Now I have a name for all my decorating style with a splash of boho thrown in. Sherry Benhart says that's Ivory from Wise Owl.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. Help us sister out.
Zoe Panette says, how about engine enamel over the transfers? Would that give them more outside longevity?
I'm sure it would. Is it water-based? You may want to put a water-based sealer in between if it's like an oil base, just to make sure. But I think that because the inlays are just paint, not just paint, you know what I'm saying? They're paint. I feel like I'm going to have more success and more longevity outside than with the transfers.
Deborah Hammond on YouTube, it seems everyone does it differently. Teaching inlay art, not consistent. I think it's just style, right?
It's probably because we've all done them, and so we're showing. It's like anything else, right? You can follow the directions on the back of the inlays. I think we all do what we found works for us. So it's like anything else we teach. So when I'm teaching you guys, I'm teaching you based on what I've found that works for me, right? And so it's like anything. Whenever I'm like, you guys know how we go to YouTube, right? And we're looking like how to install a toilet. I always watch like 4 videos before I actually go to do something, because each person is going to give you something a little different, and you just kind of take what you think is going to work and you use that. And I think that creating is kind of the same. So I'm going to show you what I found has worked for me for how to do the inlays.
Zoe says it's an acrylic polymer. It's
acrylic, then it should work, Zoe, I would think.
Yeah, engine enamel. She says it's an acrylic polymer. Maureen Peterson, what channel is Ghost on? It's on CBS, but we watch it on Paramount Plus.
Yes.
Because we don't have broadcast. We just have streamings.
Because we're cheap. No, I'm just kidding. I got rid of cable a long time ago. I think Jordan was like 10, and he's 21 now.
The only reason I had it over the last 10 years is when I moved here, it came with my apartment. So I got like a basic package.
Oh, okay.
So that was the only reason I had it. And then once my landlord said, before we got together, said, yeah, we're cutting it. I said, okay, it can go.
It can go. I ruined my mushrooms. I'm just going to look away. All right. I'm so sad. So this is the Iron Orca Design millage transfer. This is one of the brand new ones. There is so much yumminess. You get a whole page of mushrooms, which my top sheet is stuck to mine because it's separated. So like I've lost this one. I'm really sad because I want to use that at my cloche. You get a whole page of flowers. There's fruit. This transfer is like it has a lot of stuff in it. There's bugs in here. And so if you're like me and you like apothecary, you're going to love this transfer a lot. We even have like some root vegetables and the eggs, which are perfect for Easter. Oh, maybe I should do eggs for today. I don't know. No, I'm not going to do eggs. I'm going to do a butterfly. We're going to do a butterfly together today, but I don't want to just transfer it onto something. I want to make it 3-dimensional to go inside of my cloche. And so we have to pick one. So the plan is I'm going to transfer it onto this cardstock. This is like a craft cardstock. It's about, I don't know. It's not like super heavy, right? But it's heavier. I wish I would have looked at, I think it's like 30 pounds, I think is what this is. And I have my butterflies here. So I just have to figure out which one is going to fit inside of my cloche. I think I'm going to use this guy right here on the bottom. I am pretty sure that he will fit, especially because we're gonna fold his wings up. So I'm just gonna clip him off of my sheet. If you've never used transfers before, the beautiful thing about the transfers is that all you get is the actual artwork. So there's no background or anything when you use the transfers. And I love IOD transfers because you don't have a halo, or you can't see the halo around the transfer. So it really is just the artwork that you get. So it comes on a carrier sheet, which is the top half, and it's clear, and then it has a backing sheet because this whole sheet has like an adhesive, and so this sheet is to protect your transfer until you get ready to use it. So you want to make sure that your pages stay together so that you don't end up with your stuff being stuck to something accidentally, like my mushrooms are right now, because I wasn't careful when I folded it. So I'm going to show you guys what happened. I really do want to cry. I'm not going to, though. I wasn't careful when I folded it, and so it stuck to the top right there. And so when I lift that up, those mushrooms are going to stick to that. So I'm so sad about that.
On YouTube, Lori Abrams. On YouTube, Lori Abrams says, I watched so many videos on inlays. Doing it was the way I learned. There were different obstacles that came up from what I was doing.
And the thing that I did the first time I felt like such a dork is I put product over the back of my inlay because I'm so used to decoupaging. Don't do that. That's not going to work.
Somebody asked, can you reuse the inlays?
You can. You can use them up to 3 or 4 times. They get lighter with each use, of course, but you can absolutely reuse them, which is the cool part. So this is just a piece of paper, you guys. I'm going to take my transfer off and I'm going to stick it on this paper, and we're going to transfer it onto there. I don't know if I have a transfer stick.
Lori Abraham says IOD transfers rock, no panty lines.
Exactly, Lori. That is too funny, but it's true. And so the way that it works is you're essentially just like rubbing it off of the carrier sheet, and it's adhering to your surface. So you can use these over paint. You can use them over wood. They're opaque, so you can use them on dark colors as well as light colors.
I think, somebody, Susan Lavich. First, Angie Champagne, going way back, said, friend is a local DJ on a morning show in Syracuse. They share a lot of their lives. Listeners love the authentic connections. Thank you. That's what I think. I'm curious, is that Brother Wheeze or is he Rochester? I'm not sure where. But Susan Laveridge says, happy birthday to Angie Champagne. I know our birthdays are right around each other.
Yeah, because David's is in a couple of days.
So, and David's is in more than a couple of days. His is in... What is today? Today's 19th?
Today's the 19th.
David's is in 5 days.
I think most of our birthdays are like clustered, and then Christopher's is later.
Yeah. Well, he was right around our ex-daughter-in-law's.
Yeah.
So they were within like 2 or 3 days. But yeah, we have 3 in January.
Yeah.
2
in February.
You, our youngest, and our grandson. 3 in February. One of our Irish twins. Me and our oldest. And then the other Irish twin in June.
So I'm using this card. If you buy a transfer, you get like a wonderful little stick to use, and I know I have 50 of them in this shop, but y'all know I can't. Oh, mira. I found one. This is what you get. Each package you get one. So don't throw them away, you guys. Keep them.
And Angie's was on the 17th. I think I want to say I'm like 3 or 4 years older than Angie. I think she was like 65, 66, something like that. Not her age, her year.
You don't say.
Although now I'm getting close to both the year and my age being the same. I'm 1 year away from that.
I don't know. Like, I was doing my hair today. I have so much gray hair. Like, when the bleep, bleep, bleep did that happen? It just happened so fast.
Thank you, Kimberly. She says, happy early birthday.
Okay. So I just transferred that onto here, right? Whenever I transfer something, I always like to go back over it and just make sure that there's really good contact, again, between the surface I'm working on and the product I'm applying. And so I'm gonna fussy cut this off with my scissors. And it's just a piece of craft paper, right? And I put that on there.
Oh, Angie and I are the same age. She's 1962 as well. Okay, so she's 4 days older than me, so we're almost exactly the same age.
Almost exactly the same.
Almost.
And I'm gonna cut this pretty close to the actual, like, I don't want to see the paper around the edges. So I'm legitimately gonna fussy cut this. And I'm using my fussy cutting scissors because it makes it a lot easier to actually fussy cut things.
Tammy Martin says her niece is February 17th. Her oldest daughter is February 25th.
Oh, see,
I have two cousins that are right in there too.
Well, because your one cousin, Athena's birthday is the same as mine, right?
No, hers is February 27th.
Oh, a month after.
Yeah, and my cousin Sandy is February 25th. And they're your age. They were both born in 1970 as well. So you're a month older than my cousin Athena. So yeah, all my birthday money used to go to like paying for gifts for my cousins.
You're so sweet.
Well, they lived down the block. I couldn't not give them a present, you know.
I don't think they expected a present from their cousins.
And then her Athena's little brother was like March 8th.
Oh, so you had no birthday money
Yeah,
left.
so yeah, none.
So you guys, really quickly, I did want to cover something. What I did on our last live is I went through and I edited it. Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Peggy Missiles got a son on February 22nd.
I edited the live so that you guys could go back and just watch just the crafting. And I'm laughing because it's like literally a little bit over 10 minutes long. So I'm going to try to do that every week. So we're doing a lot of crafting, right? So if you guys are like, oh, that craft was really cool, I wanted to go back and remember what Royce said, or remembered exactly what I did, but I don't want to sit through the whole live, you can go back and find the short version. So you can just find what you were looking for without having to go through all of the chit chat.
All right, I've said this before. I'm going to hang on to this. I think most birthdays are in February or August, because if you go back 9 months, it's the start of either spring or the start of cold weather. And either way, lots of folks were doing something.
They were doing something. Actually, I think you're right, because I want to say the month with the least amount of birthdays is November, I believe. I think.
Yeah. So, because we've got lots of folks here. All right, let's see. Jeanette Pearson, her birthday was February 13th. Happy birthday. Her granddaughter is the 21st. That makes your granddaughter the best in the family. Newest great-grandson, February 6th. Chris Schmidt, my mom's birthday is February 24th. That's the day of our oldest. She's going to be 80. Ours is going to be 35. He's going to be 35.
Yeah.
His car insurance goes down. He is going to be so happy. I remember when that happened. I did a dance around the house. It was wonderful.
Was it wonderful?
It was. It's the last good thing until I get Medicare.
And so you guys see, I just cut that out, right? So now I have this big, beautiful butterfly, but I'm going to like flip the wings up and I want to show it. So I don't want this to be what peeks out, in the event that somebody sees underneath the wings. So we're going to put some copper leaf over the back of this.
Rita Burnett Laws. We have 6 in February, 2 on the 9th, 1 today. Happy birthday to whoever you have. 1 on the 22nd, 1 on the 23rd, and 1 on the 27th. Fearlessly Unique Designs by Simone Phillips. My daughter is February 7th. Mother, February 10th. Husband, February 11th. Kimberly Wold. I'm a September baby. Stop it. we don't want... No, heck, that's fine.
You're so terrible.
Yeah, she said she was probably in New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense too. All right, I'll accept that. Angie Champagne, I agree, but I'm one of 7, so my parents were doing a lot of some things.
This is a gilding adhesive, you guys. So I'm going to paint this on here, and then we're going to dry it, and it'll become tacky, and then we'll put our leaf over the top of it. So I'm just going to paint this on here really quickly. I love doing leafing because it's just such an easy way to add, I don't know, something special to stuff. And I guess I could have painted it with like a metallic paint too, and that would have been fine. But I just think the gold leaf has like a really cool look to it.
Tammy Martin says they have 4 in August. That's why I say I know a lot of August birthdays too. And you go 9 months and it's, oh, well, the weather's getting cold. What are we going to do, honey? Well, all right, if we have to.
If we have to.
Yeah. Let's see. Deborah Hammond on YouTube. If you were born the 1st of October, that means you partied on January 1st. Curious Farms Market, Zaru's birthday is today. Who's Zaru?
That's Carmen's grandbaby.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Tell him we said happy birthday.
He turns
is
15.
What? Oh, 15. I was going to say 14. I was close, Carmen.
Deborah Hammond, end of September, beginning of October are holiday conceptions.
Oh.
I did have, my college roommate did get a Christmas present one year of his then girlfriend. He came over to her place and found her under the tree.
Are you going to tell this story?
This is all I know, because she told me. If he didn't tell me, she told me. She said her present to him was her with Christmas ribbon.
Oh. Baby, if I gave you that gift, we need a lot of ribbon.
So, and she was quite proud of that gift and was very, very happy. And apparently he was too.
I was, apparently.
Because he dated her for a long time. I don't know why they broke up. Oh, they broke up because she moved. Yeah.
What?
She was a nurse. She got a job somewhere else. And
yeah, young folks.
You know.
So so if you've never used gold leaf before, you guys, it comes in these sheets. We're going to use this sheet right here. It's kind of jacked up. And the carrier sheets help to kind of protect it until you get ready to use it, because you guys can see how thin it is, right? And I have some corrugated leaf somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So we're going to use the copper leaf. And we're just going to lay this on here.
Can you wash that brush off easily, Annalie asks?
That's what, you know what, I put it directly in a jar of water over here. So there's 2 things, Annalie. You'll notice that I took my brushes out of this pack. This is like an inexpensive pack of brushes. So I'm using this. And I did immediately stick it in some water and kind of jiggle it around a little bit to get rid of the excess off of my brush so that I'll be able to wash it easy later. And you know what? I thought I had one of my makeup brushes, but I'm not. Oh, there it is. It has, whoops, it has cornstarch on it, but these are from Dollar Tree, you guys. I love these brushes for dusting my molds with cornstarch and for brushing my leaf, because you don't want to use a hard brush, right? Because you want it to be really careful. I mean, you want to be careful when you're brushing it off, especially if you're working on like a large surface and you don't want to scratch your actual gold leaf.
Ooh, it got quiet. See, I hear a little hum every now and then, which is not our heater. It's not on.
It's not on.
You know, you said earlier that you're tired of the cold. It was beautiful yesterday.
It was gorgeous today. Today, too.
Today, too?
Yesterday was beautiful in Tucson. Today was a little chilly, but not cold.
Yeah, I made us drive around with the windows open for a little bit, which Royce hates.
I only hate it because the sound of the wind like messes with my ears. It's really weird.
But I love driving with the windows open. I'll do it up until like 110. Then it's like, okay, the windows have to come up.
So 110. Oh
not 110 in the afternoon, 110 degrees.
I know what you were talking about, baby.
Well, you know,
like.
but the average person here may not, because
that man said 110. So anywhere where there was glue, my leaf is sticking. So apparently I got glue on the front, but I actually don't mind it too much.
Shannon Booth says, wash with Dawn soap and water and the gold leaf will come off.
Yeah, the glue. Because that glue is like serious. You don't want to get it on something and not cover it with the gold leaf because it stays tacky forever.
Oh, okay.
So it can be a pain to wash out of your brush, but that's why I put it in water right away. Okay, so now I have this super cute butterfly, right? And if anybody like sees the underside of him, they're just gonna see this beautiful metallic, and they're not gonna see anything ugly. So because he's on cardstock, I can take it and bend it right on either side of the body, and I have this 3-dimensional butterfly that I can add into my cloche. And so I set up a little bit. So this is the base of my cloche. If I had lighter, like if my background was all light colors, I would probably leave it this color, but I'm probably gonna do a whitewash on this just so it can stand out against my dark furniture. But I wanted to give you guys kind of an idea of what I'm gonna do with this. So I'm gonna use a pop dot, and I'm just gonna glue my butterfly to this little, because you guys know I love industrial, so I still have to have my industrial elements in here. And I'll glue him to here. And I have, this is from an almanac. I collect ephemera. So this almanac is from 1930. And I went ahead and I scanned and printed out a page from the almanac. And this one's for April. And so it has Fifth Sunday and Lent, Palm Sunday, Easter Sunday, Low Sunday. It says April on the top. And I thought that this would be a perfect backdrop.
What is Low Sunday?
My cloche. I don't know.
I've never heard that one before.
So you know, say
Low Sunday. I don't know what that is. Okay.
And so this is taller than my cloche, so I'm gonna have to trim this. So I'm gonna trim it really quickly.
All right. You're at.
Look, I'm gonna trim off Low Sunday.
We're at 54 minutes too.
Are we at 54 minutes? Are you telling me I'm almost out of time, baby?
No, I'm just telling you.
Just think, farmers use these almanacs to track weather patterns so they know like when to plant.
And maybe that's, I don't know, when tide is at the lowest, or?
It could be something that's affiliated with the weather in some kind of way.
The moon is at its lowest point in the sky. I don't know.
You know say?
Yeah.
Does anybody here know?
I was hoping, but I haven't seen anything yet. So
I'm going to put this on the back, because when I put this against the wall, I'm going to try to give you guys a visual. So that when I put this against the wall, I can put some other things in here that may not look good from both sides. Whoops. And my butterfly will be in there. I'll get all that sorted out because I have my mushrooms from one of the new IOD molds, and I want to paint that and put it in there. And I'll sit one of my little metal flower frogs in there, and I'll probably stick some ephemera or something else in there. And this will just be my cloche that's kind of springy that I'll have in the living room. So I'll make sure and post a picture of this when I get it all like filled up and get it all organized.
So Low Sunday is the Sunday after Easter. Thank you, Carolyn Keller, Shannon Booth, Ann Cook, Barbara Garrels.
I didn't know there was like a dedicated Sunday after Easter.
The only one I remember after is the Ascension Day.
Maybe that's, I mean, it sounds like it's the...
Because after he rises, he, I don't want to say wanders, but I mean, he's still around and talking to people. But there is a day where he ascends.
Yeah, so maybe that's Low Sunday.
So I remember Ascension Day, but I don't remember Low. So I haven't, since 13. Yes. I mean, that's when I stopped my religious training. So I don't.
You don't say.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm curious, but I'm always interested in stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what it represents, what it signifies.
So that's 2 projects, right? I think we're on schedule. The next project is like super fast, super impactful. That's what we like, right? Fast and impactful. Do we have any questions on either of those projects, baby?
No, there were a lot of people that just say it looks really cool.
Oh, okay. I like it, because then when I put it, I'm going to make sure, and I'm going to show you guys a picture. I have, let me see if I can get it down without like breaking it. This is a cloche that I did a couple of years ago. It's kind of the same theory. I transferred these onto cardboard, but I actually glued them to the IOD keys. I don't know if you guys can see that. And this is one of my cloches. I love cloches, you guys, just in case you hadn't noticed. I have like collections of just about any, and that's why I love them, because you can I love collecting things, and the idea of collecting stuff and then having to store it in something is just not as fun as being able to see your collections and enjoy them in your everyday space. And so cloches are a really cool way that you can, what's the word? Exhibit came to my mind. That is not the right word. You can display your collections, right? And you can group them together so they're more meaningful, and they're under a cloche, which makes them extra special.
Liz Boyle says, when will you take the inlay off?
We're going to get to that, Liz, I promise. We're going to let that dry completely. That's one of the things I've learned is you really want it to dry completely. We'll circle back to that inlay, though, I promise, before we get done. But we're letting that chill out and dry, and we'll probably still have to dry it some more even when we return to it.
All right, Shannon Booth, this makes sense. Part of the event of Easter, but to a lower extent, hence Low Sunday. All right, I'm in. I'll accept that.
Okay.
Change approved. It's not really a change.
Change of what?
Change approved.
Change of what?
Change approved.
Oh, change approved. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't hear what you said. I thought never mind. You sounded like you said a poof.
And it could be a change of poof. Sure.
This is a stone pitcher. I got it at the thrift store. One of the things that I love, love, love are Crocs. I have stoneware like everywhere. Whenever I see it at the thrift store, I always buy it. I thought that this would be perfect for kind of that French country industrial vibe because it's light. It's a beautiful light color, and it has like these imperfections in it. Can you guys see those? It's where like it was glazed, and they're like almost like maybe there were bubbles, and you can see the raw pottery underneath the glaze. I just think it's beautiful, but I'd like to add a little bit of interest to it. So we're gonna do that with the transfer. And this piece is gonna be inside, so I don't have to worry about anything. So this is an alcohol wipe, you guys. I'm just gonna go over and just make sure that where I'm gonna put the transfer is nice and clean before I apply my transfer.
Can I ask
I don't want anything to interfere with the adhesion of the transfer. Yes.
Can I ask our audience another question?
Sure.
Okay, how many of you have kids, grandkids that, and this is going to sound awful, but it's not meant that way, struggling a little bit because salaries haven't kept pace with costs. You know, they can't get a house. They have to live in an apartment. They have to have roommates.
They can't get an apartment nowadays.
Yeah, heck, nowadays can't even get an apartment.
Because Jordan's apartment is almost $900. It's 400 square feet. It's tiny.
He's got a small place, but he's, making do, but
yes.
But he has no extra cash at all. I'm just kind of curious, and if you've got kids, grandkids like that, who are doing their best, nobody's saying that they're not, do they repurpose stuff? Do they know what you guys know, which is, don't throw that away. That's 5 projects right there.
Right? Or when you go to the thrift store, you want to look at things from a different perspective because there
that's
could
what
be
prompted
opportunity.
Me when you talked about getting that at the thrift store. That's my first thought is, you're passing up a lot. I want to say
I paid $2.99 for this, which was a steal because this is a nice piece of crockery. Like this was handmade, you can tell. And so this transfer is not a new one, but is one of my favorites. This is one of the ones, so there are certain things that I always suggest if you're new to Iron Orchid design. So like if you've never used a stamp before from IOD and you want to get a stamp, Queen Bee is the best starter stamp because it has bees and laurels and topographies and some flowers. So like it has a little bit of everything and you'll get a lot of use of it. The brocante transfer is the same to me. Like this, if you have never bought a transfer from Iron Orchid Design and you want to get one to try, this one is a really, really good starter transfer because you have birds and bees and flowers and topography, and you even have some roosters and sheep. So this one, even though it's all around the idea of brocante or like vintage, French vintage, you still have a lot of different things on this one transfer. So this is a really nice starter transfer if you haven't tried transfers and you want to give it a go. So we're going to be using one of these pieces from this page for this picture.
Let's see. Zopanette should get the back of her hand slapped.
What? Are you threatening our guests?
I'm thinking a nun needs to come by with a ruler because she said, the carpenters sang, just like me, they long to be cloche to you. That's actually pretty good.
That's a pretty good one.
That really is pretty good. Barbara Garrell's Ascension Sunday is 40 days after Easter, then Pentecost 10 days after Ascension. Thank you.
Okay.
I do remember, Ascension being a big deal because
Yes.
I went to a parochial school. I just didn't remember the timeline. Kimberly Wold, my 2 adult sons still live at home. They're both thrifty like me. Sonia Hansen, I'm concerned it will just get worse before it gets better for them. We agree. Shannon Booth, both my girls, but not to the extent as myself, which is close to hoarding. We understand that. Elena Burr, not dyeing Easter eggs this year. Eggs cost too much.
Oh, I know.
Ann Cook, both kids and grandkids repurpose, feel it offers extra character. I realize I'm asking a group that's pre-inclined to this.
Yes.
And I understand that, but I'm thinking about all those young kids out there who really, if they got $20 at the end of the week.
I want to let them know what you're doing so David and I are having a discussion, right, about who I serve. And so I feel like I'm pretty zoned in on who my audience is. Like who are the people who understand and appreciate my madness. I'm really quickly, you guys, I'm going to put some cuts in here because I'm going over this round jar and I need to, for my transfer to be able to release without adding any stress. So almost like darts, right? I'm going to put on here so that I can do that successfully. But, and he would like for me to target younger folks because he feels like they need this. I just don't know.
I don't want you to get away from your audience.
I know.
I just think that's a group that, because we see our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, our 35-year-old is living in an apartment.
Yes.
He's living by himself, but he's working a couple jobs.
Yeah.
One of the twins has his own place, but paying child support, so he doesn't have a lot of money. The other one has to have roommates. Our youngest is in the tiniest apartment. This shed is just about as big as his place, if not bigger. If
you guys saw my son, he is legitimately about 6'6" and 280?
Is he that big already? I mean, it's all muscle.
Yeah. Let's say 265.
Honestly,
he's not big.
Dom is the tiniest out of the of the four.
That's true.
Because our oldest is 6'5", and he's at least 270, 280.
Yeah.
But he's that Irish muscle that you look at me and go, oh, fat guy. And then you realize, no, he can move a house. It's all muscle.
Yes.
And Chris is kind of the same way. Jordan is muscle, though. Yeah. He's not chubby muscle. He's muscle. You look at him and you go, oh my goodness, that's a stone statue. That's how muscle he is.
He's the youngest, though.
Yeah, but he's the youngest. So I just think that there's this whole generation that has been dealt a bad hand. They really are in dire straits.
And we could teach them how to still enjoy your home.
Or your tiny apartment or your tiny bedroom if you're sharing an apartment.
Yeah.
Make it yours. Make it just for you. That's special. And you don't have to kill yourself. A $5 dresser.
Yeah.
Or better yet, I found it on the curb.
Yes.
So a $0 dresser added in with, a $17 page of decoupage paper and $2 worth of medium.
Yeah.
And bang, I got a brand new piece that nobody else has.
Jordan has his dresser his hand-me-down dresser from me. It's in his living room like a little console. Well, because it can't fit in the bedroom.
Yeah. So that's all. I'm not suggesting that we ignore you guys, because you guys are wonderful. And you guys get it. I'm just curious, about those other young people. And then I realized I'm asking the people that are teaching their kids.
I know, right?
I
don't know. My kids don't listen.
They do. Because remember, Jordan wanted you to take him thrifting.
Yes.
When he got his place.
When he got his place, yes.
So they listen.
And so, I'm sorry, that was a little bit more rubbing, but isn't that like, I don't know, I think it was nice to start with, and now it's just a little extra special with that transfer on there. And again, I'm just rubbing it to make sure that I have really good adhesion to my surface, because I don't want anything popping up later. And now I have like this beautiful picture. And for this one, I'm pretty sure, don't look at my tags. I haven't taken my tags off yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna sit some lavender in that and sit it somewhere. And I think it's gonna be really cute. What do you guys think? So that's project number 3. I think I'm gonna go back to one. I know.
Well, we're at 7:10.
Oh, we're at 7:09. Okay, so we'll go back.
Curious Farms Market, my son saves too much to repurpose. Deborah Hammond, I've noticed even Goodwill's prices have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
KK says my millennial refinished anything she could find on a curb and next to the trash. Gabrielle Vina, I think it's a great additional group to reach out to. Handy and Honey, you have to get them to put their phones down first. No, you don't, because we want them to watch on their phones.
On their phones. And honestly, I find that the millennials, who are now 30, by the way, right? They're not kids anymore.
Yep.
Are probably less likely to be on social media than even we are. It's a discussion that I have with them often. They're like, you keep saying that we're the ones, but you guys are the ones who are on your phones all the time.
Yep. Tammy Martin says more families are living together to make things easier. Yes, we repurpose so much. We are working on our property now for gardening, etc. So reusing or recycling has become important.
Yes, which is good.
Absolutely.
It's more sustainable. Really quickly, babe, because we're running out of time.
Yep.
This is just Dollar Tree tissue, you guys. This regular gift wrap that I bought from Dollar Tree. And I have this piece, this metal colander. It is so heavy. And all I did to prep it for tonight is I just sealed it with a coat of 1R enamel. We picked this up at, remember in Globe, at a roadside swap meet one year.
Oh, yeah. That was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
That was pre-pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to add light elements to my spaces to brighten them up. And so I'll probably stick some kind of a plant or something in here on my porch. But I do want to add a little something to this. You guys, I love topography. I probably don't need to add stuff to everything, but I'm going to. So I'm going to take like 3 sheets of this Dollar Tree tissue because I like having like a pad of tissue under the sheet that I'm actually going to stamp. And when you get this, one side is matte and one side is shiny. I like to stamp on the matte side of the paper. So let me just set that aside, and then we're gonna stamp this really quickly with one of the stamps from the antiquity stamp from one of the new IOD stamps. I gotta find the one I wanna use.
Catherine Schmidt, my daughters love thrifting, possibly repurposing their finds. Sons are more about making something instead of buying something already made. Very good.
Okay, that's cool too.
Ann Cook, both kids and grandkids repurpose. Kids are 43, grandkids early 20s, feel it offers special character. Candace Clay, 2 of our kids live on our 5-acre property with their spouses so they can save money, hopefully get into the market.
Candy, you don't look old enough to have kids that old. I'm just saying.
My kids are total thrifters. They have gardens, chickens, goats to save on groceries and live frugally. Liz Clark, one of my 2 sons upcycles, both design projects and build. My ex and I taught him it's better to learn and build than go out and buy.
Yes, you get better quality too.
Okay, here we go. Thespoina?
Yes, Thespa.
Thank you.
She's on our design team. Hey, Thespa.
Thank you. McLaughlin. Younger generations are really embracing thrifting and repurposing. Gen Z is known for getting away from buying new things.
Yes.
They will be the next big audience for this kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. We just got to figure out how they can hear it.
We have to find somebody young.
Yeah. I mean, because, boy, I just feel for these kids. It's not this. My first apartment was literally half of a floor. It was a big building, and half of the top floor was my first apartment, and I paid $400 a month for it.
Oh, you got a bigger place than I did.
I had a huge place. It was wonderful.
Real quick, babe.
Yeah.
So I'm stamping. I had somebody on TikTok say that whenever she stamps, it's always a big mess. And so I want to just go through the steps of stamping, just in case there's somebody else watching who feels the same way. This is what I found that works. I have my inked pad and I have my brayer. And I found that by using these, I get just the right amount of ink on my stamps. And I just roll that ink on there. It's also important that when you sit your stamp down on your surface, that you don't like shift it or move it. Once it hits that surface, that's where it needs to be. Because if you shift it, you're going to end up with like a double stamp. And you don't want to end up with that. And if you are stamping on paper, or if you're stamping on a non-porous substrate, right? Like a piece of ceramic or something, you want to use very little ink because you're more likely to have slippage if you use a lot, and the ink is not going to be absorbed anywhere. If you're stamping on something that is porous, that's going to absorb some of the ink, you want to use a little bit more ink because your surface is going to absorb a certain amount of ink. If you're working on like fabric, you really want to load up your stamp with a lot of ink, right? Because that fabric is really going to absorb a lot of ink. And you just have to practice. So you guys know how we say around here, if you tried something once, you really haven't tried it, right? Until you've done it at least 3 times. And so practice has a lot to do with it too. So I have stamped 2 stamps out. I didn't think I was picking up a little ink. I think I might stamp these again because I'm not sure if I'm happy with how those are too light. So I'm going to stamp again. Using this ink pad, I didn't feel like it was picking up a lot of ink. One of these ink pads has erasable ink on it, and I don't want to use that one. So I think I'm going to actually use a plate, and so that I know what ink I'm using. This is not erasable ink. IOD does have erasable ink, which is nice when you're working for cardboard projects. Like this one is erasable, this charcoal is. And so I actually have a little chalkboard, which was going to be one of our projects, but we're not going to get to that one tonight. So I'm going to just roll it out on this plate so that I know what I have. It's not erasable ink. Super important because I'm going to decoupage this and I don't want that ink running everywhere.
Barbara Garrell said, many of us learned about repurposing, recycling from our grandparents' parents who lived through the Depression.
Yes.
See, now I'm not a repurposer, but I won't throw stuff out. You know that.
You throw stuff out.
Well, like food. I'll throw out old food. I don't ever want to get like food poisoning.
No. Because
I deal with enough stomach stuff to begin with. I don't need that. So I always err on the side of caution with food. But baby, I got a 20-year-old car sitting out in front of the house.
Oh, I know. We got to list that for sale.
Yeah, that I would still be driving if you didn't decide to buy a new car.
Well, I needed
we needed a new car. Yes. I mean, I get that. But I'm the king of, you've seen, baby, I got ties that are older than our oldest.
I mean, clothes, I think as we get older, we keep our clothes because we don't,
I did donate a bunch,
yes.
Which now I'm kicking myself for because it was my fat clothes and I had lost weight. And now since I'm married and happy, I'm fat again and I don't have any fat clothes.
I'm sorry.
I know. You ruined it all by being wonderful.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Aren't I, though?
Okay, that's much better, right? See how this was really light when I stamped it the first time? And so I just went through and stamped it a second time. And that's the cool thing about stamps, right? If you don't get it right, you can just redo it because you can use these stamps over and over again. And I am going to fix this by, oh man, I didn't heat up my little Cricut. Dang it. What time is it, babe?
7:17.
7:17. Okay, so I'm gonna let my Cricut warm up and we'll come back to this one. And I'll set that aside. And what I need to do on that one is I need to set my ink. And so this is not dry yet, so we're gonna go ahead and we're circling back to our wreath insert, right?
Kathleen Hoovis, isn't that called hoarding? Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. No, I tend to buy, it's not like I have a ton of stuff. I just buy it and then that's it until it goes away, until it falls apart.
Until it falls apart, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, collectibles are a different thing. I mean, I collect comic books and stuff,
And so I want to dry this before I wet it and then pull it up again. So we put it down into wet paint, right? And we wet the back of it, and that's going to help release the paint from the backing paper into the paint. And now I'm drying it, which is really important. You want to dry it before you lift it up. And again, this is inlays according to Royce.
Catherine Schmidt, we just traded in our 97 Suburban. It was older than 2 of our kids.
We didn't trade in our, because that's David's new van. Our old car is David's new car.
Yeah, it's great. I got a new car. What year is that?
It's 10 years old, so it's a 12.
12 or 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought it at the end of 2012, like November. So.
Okay. I was driving an 02 that you said you had to do yoga to get into. It was
hot
so small.
yoga, because he does not have AC.
Yeah, there was no AC in my car.
Yes. Do we have any questions about the inlays? Because I know that this is a newer product on the market, so I know that there are a lot of questions about it.
There were earlier. You're going back to it. Nobody's asking about it now.
Okay. Oh, my little heater is hot too. And I've lost a little stand, so watch that, baby, to make sure it doesn't start smoking over there.
Okay. Carolee Enwald says, what do you seal with on the butterfly and the picture?
The butterfly, I'm not going to seal, and I'm not going to seal the picture either, because they're just going to sit. I could use just my Wise Owl varnish to go over the top, but I feel like it's going to be, sitting on something in the house. It's not going to see a ton of action, so I'm honestly not going to worry about sealing it. If I were going to seal it, I would probably use a gloss, right? Because I don't want to seal it with something matte, because that would change the nature of the ceramic. So I would choose a glossy water-based sealer, and that would be fine. Probably I would use actually the 1-hour enamel, because it's self-leveling, so I would get a nice smooth surface. I'm just really quickly, I'm going over my stamps with some heat, you guys, to set them so that when I decoupage, my ink doesn't run, right? And so this heat is going to set it. I could use either my little iron, or I could use my little heat blower too. I do feel like I get better results when I heat it up with my little mini Cricut. And you can use parchment paper to protect your piece. This is just, Teflon, I believe. A Teflon sheet, because I like the idea of being able to use it over and over again. And so I have that. And so now this is set. And should I use Miss Priss baking powder, or should I use my deer in a tuxedo? I'm torn. You guys help me decide while we work on the inlay. I'm moving fast. So my inlay is dry. It still feels kind of cool though, so that makes me think there's still some moisture underneath there. So I'm gonna go a little bit more.
Joan Volkman, what is the meaning of the stamps of a person with an animal head? I don't get it. It's kind of creepy.
It's just quirky fun. There's no meaning. These are actually from actual old advertisements. Like this is Miss Priss baking powder, and I'm sure this guy is from something too.
A Stag in a Tux, isn't that a beer?
Maybe.
Wasn't Schmidt beer?
I don't know.
I think there was a beer that had a stag in people clothing.
So I've dried this. If I try to pull this up now, it's probably going to pull up my paint, right? So I'm going to moisten my backing paper now so that I can pull this up. And you'll see some people spray and some people will use like a wet sponge or something to dampen the paper. I don't know if that part matters or not, but I just spray my backing paper.
We have 2 questions. Anna Lee asks, is that a little iron? I think she's referring to your Cricut.
It is a little mini Cricut. So it's like a little mini press. It is an iron.
There you
so
go.
You could use an iron if that's what you have. You just want to make sure that it doesn't have any water in it. You don't want moisture. And so I'm pulling this up, you guys, and you see it leaves that there. So this is basically printed paint on a backing sheet, and I'm transferring that paint to my surface. So once this is sealed, it's just like paint. And that's the beauty of this, because I can put this outside and it's going to behave like any other painted surface that I put outside. So I'm going to set this aside because I can actually use this 2 or 3 more times.
And Tamara Hernan, Royce, where do you find all your cloches?
Oh my gosh, girl, at the thrift store. I'm going to show you guys where I got that one in just a second. I meant to show you earlier. And so you guys notice how I kind of let it chill with the water on top of it before I start pulling it off, because I really want to make sure it's going to come off of my paint really easy. But like it's once you get it down, it's a really cool product, and it's just really versatile because it's essentially paint. And I do have marks on here from where my paper was, which if you don't want that, then you can like kind of fussy cut closer to your actual image. But I'm just gonna go in with some more paint because I wanna add some more texture to this anyways. And again, I have my 3 colors of white that I'm just kind of mixing up here.
It is 25 after.
It's 25 after. Oh, this is gonna be perfect. How many projects did I get done tonight?
2.
No, we did the cloche, we did the butterfly.
Oh,
we did this
I thought
one.
the butterfly was in the cloche. I thought that was part of the cloche.
Well, yeah, it is, but that's one of the projects.
Oh, you're treating it as a project. I got you. Okay.
What do you mean? Oh, it is a project.
Well, usually it's the finished piece is the project, but you did components of the project. Okay.
Yes, that one I have to put it together because I can't really put it together super fast.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to put it together and then add a picture. It's a project, right, you guys? You guys agree with me. It's a project.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis asks, how do you store and dry your used inlays?
Lay them out flat somewhere in your workspace and let them dry completely. And then you just put the you know how in your inlays there's that sheet that goes in between each of them. So you just want to make sure that you have that between what you're going to use and your other inlays in your booklet. That's what I just stick them in my booklet. I guess that's a long answer to your short question. And I am just adding some more texture. Like I said, I want this to look old, and I'm gonna go back in to this and add, probably use Wise Owl's Iron Oxide to add some rust. You know what, let's do that really quickly.
Tammy Marie Martin says, I know you use the top of a tin, but I just realized I could use the stovetop eye protectors too. I have several stored away.
Oh yeah, those would be really good too, right?
Is that the things that you put over the burners?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so this is iron oxide from Wise Owl, and I am just I watered it down, a lot of water, and I'm just gonna like splatter it on there, because I don't want it to look all perfect. And then after this all dries, and I wanted to splatter it while the paint was wet. You see how, you guys can't see it from that far, but you see how when it hits the wet surface, it starts to like dissipate a little bit. That's what I want. And so I'm just gonna spatter that on there. I am gonna mist it because I want it to dissipate a little bit more. And then, so that's the inlay, you guys. Super easy, right? I'm not ever gonna go, you guys know how I love a good halo. So I'm gonna go in later and add some grunge around the edge, and then this project will be finished and it will go inside of my wreath. And I'll make sure and get the wreath on the door and take a picture for you guys so you guys can see the final project. And our last project before we go, uno más, is
Vina says she wants to see the iron oxide.
the iron oxide. This is the color of it. It's just a color of rust.
Okay.
And this is from Wise Owl. You guys can imagine it's one of my favorites, right?
All right.
And do we vote on the deer head or the cat head, or did nobody care which one we used?
Deer.
The deer? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys on the deer, but I figured, whoops, I almost set that tissue on that wet piece. So I'm going to fussy cut. I don't have to fussy cut perfectly, but I do want to cut pretty close because I may have a bit of a halo on this one because it's tissue paper, right? It's not a transfer. And so I'm going to just I'm not going to do like super close. I'm not going around all those antlers, but I'm going to try to cut pretty close. But this is a good way. And if you're working on a piece of furniture and you have like an inset and you want to stamp it, but you can't get your stamps to lay flush, you guys know what I mean? Stamping tissue and then decoupaging it in your inset is a really good way to get around that.
Shannon's trying to get the cat. She's like voting like 3 times.
Miss Priss.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little like jaggedy on these antlers so it doesn't look like a round circle. That would bother me. I know myself well enough to know that just looks a little bit too smooth against the texture of the actual design. So I'm not cutting it perfectly, but I am kind of going in and emulating the shape of the antlers.
All right, we are at 90 minutes.
Okay. And so I'm going to make it, baby. I have my little, I don't know what you want to call this, but let's see. Let's put him right here. Because you know what? I know that you guys have these supplies, right? And a lot of times you're like, okay, I've made the thing, so now what I do with them, but you can like make multiple projects. And I also think if you're someone who has a booth space, that these are really cool projects, right? That you can create and put in your booth or your shop. And I think people would buy them.
Angie Champagne asks, do you ever stamp on your tissue papers and fussy cut them to decoupage?
That's what we just did.
On your tissue paper?
Oh, on my tissue paper? You can. I mean, if there's space to stamp on there, you absolutely can. I haven't, Chattin, but I could, right? And so now, I mean, it's not like a huge deal, but I don't know. I just think it takes it from being like plain to now it's kind of cool. And once it dries, and so if this is the same sealer that I use to seal this piece. So once it dries, it should be pretty much invisible, right? If I find that this area has a different look or sheen than the rest of it, then I'll just go around and I will seal the entire piece. So that way it looks unified and it doesn't look like I just kind of decoupage this guy on here. But I think it's cute, right? I mean, and you could put flowers on here too if you wanted. The new stamp has like roses. I think they're like cabbage roses on it. And you could stamp some flowers, which would be a really nice contrast with the industrial and then the flowers on there, which is one of the things that I kind of like about that whole like rustic French country European farmhouse kind of look, is that you have like really pretty elements, but you also have a lot of industrial elements that are included. And it's really cool. So
Joan Volkman, we're obviously not very concerned about the time. We love watching you. Yeah, Joan, but some of us want to eat dinner.
I know, poor David has to go to work tomorrow. Yeah. So I got 4 projects in today. Woo, woo. Sorry.
Alyssa Visithin says, my husband is cracking up listening to you both. Usually I have headphones on, so he can't hear you. Football season's over, so now the headphones come out?
So, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so I think that's it. We have 1, 2, we have the Cloche, which I'll put together and post a picture. What was the other one? There was this one. Oh yeah, the picture. So just really cute. And then I had one more project I was gonna do. I had this frame that I bought at the thrift store, and I was gonna do reverse decoupage with the Roycycled floral, como se dice, grain sack paper, and then put that on the back of the glass, and then on the front of the glass, and I may still do it. Maybe I'll do a YouTube video of this project. On the front of the glass, put these two roosters on there. I thought that would be super cute, right?
All right. So we have two things.
Yes.
One, we have to do a giveaway.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And two, I'm gonna give everybody homework.
Homework?
Yes.
Okay.
So everybody who stayed with, find somebody who's not one of your kids who understands the value of repurposing, and invite them. See if we can get some young people to kind of tune in and see. Oh yeah, I could do something. Oh, I could make that, or oh, that would look. I could see me doing something like that, so that they could see it's easy. Let's help these kids.
Yes.
That's I feel bad for these youngsters.
That's good homework, baby.
And they're again 30 and younger.
Yes.
But to me, because I am a what is it?
Confused
elderly man. Yes.
Yes.
They're youngsters.
They're youngsters. And so we're going to do the drawing really quick, you guys. I'm working on the resource for February. It will go out this week, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm working on. I wanted to do the one where we had like replacements, for different things. And I have the information typed out, but I'm having a hard time visually with how I want to set it up graphically. So that one's not done. But what I do have is a resource that goes over how you can clean up different things that you score at the thrift store or on the, at yard sales. And so that's going to be done and go out this week. So if you are not a Roycycled Insider, be sure that you sign up. You can put hashtag Insider right here in the comments, and you guys will get a message from Facebook that shows how you can become an insider. And I know that I have been MIA, although you guys are probably happy after getting so many emails from me during December. But I'm going to get back in the program and get my weekly emails out, because I even have some photographs I want to share from Georgia. So you can put hashtag Insider in the comments. If you want to become an insider. If you're on TikTok and you want to be an insider, you can check out the link in my bio, and there is a place for you to do it there. If you're on YouTube, I'll try to go back to the comments and put the link in there for you guys to be able to sign up. There weren't a lot of questions tonight. I feel like I did a lot of stuff, and there weren't a ton of questions.
We have to do a giveaway.
Yes, so we're going to do a giveaway for a mug.
TikTok or Facebook. So first we have to decide which is which. Okay, one or two.
One or two? One.
One is TikTok.
Okay.
So it's up to you.
Oh man, so TikTok. I don't know, because I don't know who's still here. Let's see. If you're still here for TikTok, put a little wave for me really quickly, so I can choose and see. And the odds on TikTok are always really good, because there aren't that many people watching.
So that means next week it's Facebook, guys.
Yes.
Next week is guaranteed Facebook.
And so let me see. We're going to go with, I'm going to pin this comment so I can find it. This is Zazzy is the winner.
All right, Zazzy, congratulations.
So let me do a screenshot so I remember. Ah, man.
Ann Cook says 2. Nice try, Ann. Next week will
I'm
be...
going to do a screenshot. This is Zazzy, so I can find you later and get your mug in the mail, your Roycycled mug.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, alrighty.
Hey, Stacy. And I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next week, I will be doing more French country industrial projects for my spaces. I have an urn that I need to paint, so maybe we'll paint the urn next week. I don't know. But I'll have at least either one big project that we're going to do together, or several smaller ones, kind of like tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. You guys remember, there isn't anything here today that I've done that you guys cannot absolutely do. You guys can do this.